hope you understand. He was born a rambling man.
It's me, it's TRG, the Rambling Gambler, just trying to make a living and doing the best I can. Welcome to the next episode for launch week, everybody. It is launch week. It is Saturday of launch week. We are doing great. We are crushing it, at least to the extent we can. You know, at this point, I'm relying on computers to know what computers are doing. Right, I'm trusting every AI. It's interesting. I was actually telling Nakatomi Tony this yesterday. He kind of called to check on me a little bit. Every AI, when you talk about Kindle Direct Publishing, which is what I'm using to publish the Book of Casino Wisdom, every single AI, no matter how you ask the question, says that to have a successful book launch, you have to have velocity. And it's always velocity. That has to be Amazon's internal word, because it doesn't matter if I ask Grok or ChatGPT or Gemini or any other AI that I come up with, they all say you have to build velocity. They never say momentum. They never say speed. They never say reach. It's always velocity. And they always talk about the same things being the things that build velocity. So here's we sit on this Saturday. We are building velocity. If the AIs are right, we're doing it the right way. And that has been an amazing thing to see from my point of view. It's been amazing to hand out tickets and missions. We're doing a great job. And so as I've been doing for launch week, we're going to have two segments today. The first segment's going to be a core concept segment. Midnight Diver was in town recently, and we went out to dinner and spent some time in the casino. And over dinner, the conversation turned to a kind of a question and a comment. And after I shared my thoughts, he said, "You've got to make that a segment. That's got to be that. You've got to share that with everybody." And so I like to make this listener driven. I like to make this more about you than it is about me, and that's tough. I have a pretty high opinion of myself. So if he felt like it was something all of you needed to hear, I want to make sure I honor that and share that with you. So we'll do a core concept segment and tie that story, that revelation in that way. And then we'll jump into mission control. And then I'll get all of you into the process of enjoying your Saturday and enjoying your weekend. So let's do that. Let's get started with this launch week weekend episode and do a core concept segment. The core concepts spelled with a K, of casino combat are the 7 pillars that are foundational, in my never so humble opinion, to being good at the game of casino gambling. These are not major revelations. These are the basics. These are the things that anybody that's done it a while probably knows, although they might not say it the same way I say it. These are the foundations. These are the basic ideas. If you don't understand these, the rest of it isn't going to work. And one of those is that we need to have a bankroll and a buy-in appropriate to the wagers we know we're going to make. We're going to go in with a plan, and the wagers need to be appropriate to that plan. And we need to have worked that all out. We need to have worked out what our bankroll and our buy-in is. And then we want to try to win a small set amount and leave or start leaving either the table or the building. And you know that either is fine. You can just say, when I win 9 units, I'm done. Or you can do what I like to do, which is when I win 9 units, I'm going to risk 3. And if those 3 are gone, I'm done. But if those 3 keep adding more to my win stack, I'm going to keep playing until I lose those 3. Both perfectly valid, both interesting ways to go about it. But those are the two things I'm kind of going to build on here in this launch week segment for our core concepts segment. Buy in appropriate to your wagers and win a small set amount and leave. So Midnight Diver was coming through town and asked if we wanted to have dinner, and we encouraged him to come spend the night with us, and we'd go get some dinner and do some things. Not surprisingly, we did end up going down and showing him our local casino. There's a Wahlburger there, so we used a food comp and had a great dinner. And as is often the case when all of us are together, the food is secondary to the company. It really is. It's always great when any of us, when I get together with any of you, it's a great thing. It's a special thing. It means a lot. And so it was great to spend time with him and have dinner. And everybody comes from a different place. Everybody gambles in a different way. I kind of have trouble wrapping my head around it because I have so much availability. But Midnight Diver doesn't have a lot of casino access. He doesn't get to play frequently. I play multiple times a week, even on a slow week. And for him, it can often be months to get to an actual casino. Sports betting a little different, but actual casino time, table time for him is much more limited than it is for me. And so he was telling me that he was thinking that on his next cruise, to increase his points, his tier credits, his bounce back comps, all the things that go with that, he was thinking that he might go ahead and double his unit size. And that way he has a larger average wager, and that way he has a higher ADT. That all follows. That all tracks. That's pretty obvious, simple, and straightforward. And what I said to him was, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. Double your unit size. That means you're going to double your buy-in, right? But don't change your small set amount that you're trying to win. So for illustration purposes, purely for illustration purposes, suppose his buy-in had been $250, 10 wagers, at a $25 unit size, and he was trying to win 8 units, $200. Well, my thing to him was, okay, you're going to go to $50 in this illustration. If you're going to go to $50, go ahead, buy in for $500 instead of $250, play TRG4, go about all of that the same way, but don't change your small set amount. Keep the small set amount at $200. That's 4 units at $50 a unit. Keep it that way. Still try to win the same amount of money, which is less units. Then, if your process was TRG4, $25 unit size, when I get to $200, which is to say 8 units at $25 a unit, I then drop down and take 3 chips, 3 units, $25 a unit, and do my exit, and I'm comfortable leaving the table or at least ending the session plus 125. Double the unit size to 500. Keep the dollar win goal the same, which is a smaller unit win goal, and then do your $25 unit size 3 chip exit. You get all the benefits of higher ADT. Most floors, in my experience, are never going to notice that at our level of gambling. You know, if you're betting $3,000 a hand and they've got you clocked that way and you suddenly drop to 500, somebody's going to notice. That's a big enough dollar amount that they're really paying attention. But if you are on a cruise ship with 8, 9, 10 people playing at a $50 and $100 level and you drop down to $25 for a few hands, most pit bosses are not going to know. Most pit bosses are not going to change your rating. Most pit bosses aren't going to change anything. If they saw a 50, 100, 50, 100 and had you clocked as a $75 average and you drop down to 25 and 50 for a while, they're going to leave you in at that $75 average. So apply the core concepts slightly differently in this case. Larger unit size to start. Same dollar amount win goal, which is less units total won. Easier to do, easier to win 0 than it is, or 1 than it is to win infinity, right? The wisdom of 1 and infinity, which is in the book, by the way. That's one of the new things in the book. We formally made it's easier to win 1 than it is to win infinity. A Casino Wisdom gave it a number. It's in the book. Check it out on Tuesday. But I think you see the idea. Increase the size of your buy-in, increase the size of your wager, keep your win goal the same, and then do your exit at a smaller unit size, maybe down at table minimum. See how long the win continues, see how much you can build up, have a profit locked in, and have that higher ADT, which was Midnight Diver's goal. Okay, let's go to mission control.
Houston, contact with a test 1.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Kismet and I keep processing missions. They continue to come in. I was going to give you a count, but as I've been sitting here recording, I saw several more come in. Suffice it to say, we continue to rack up missions in a good way. We continue to do what I believe we need to do to build velocity in a great way. We've executed well. We have a little bit more to go here. So let me kind of lay out the bigger picture thing here. It's Saturday. I didn't add any new missions. It's the weekend. I understand everybody has a ton of stuff going on. If you're using the weekend to catch up, if maybe you just listened to these episodes and went, oh, I didn't even realize this was going on. Cool. Saturday, Sunday, if you have time, take a look at the board. CasinoCombat.com, combat with a K. You know this. Click on missions. Take a look at the mission board. If you haven't been doing them, now's a great time. If you got some time this weekend, go ahead and crank it out. Anything we can do between now and Tuesday to do any of the things on the mission board is going to be helpful when we push this thing through to the finish line. So, if you've been completing missions, thank you. And if you need personal time, please take it. Please go do those other things. If you've got some time, everything on the board is still valid. Everything on the board is still helpful. If you did a social media post on whatever it was, Wednesday, Thursday, if you did a social media post on Thursday, there's no reason you can't do another one. There's no reason that you can't do a different one, right? If you did something on Instagram, there's no reason you can't do something on Facebook. If you did something on Facebook on your personal page, that doesn't mean that you can't go to some group page and mention the book or mention the author page, right? You can still do all of those things. If you got busy yesterday and you didn't have time to email people because you were busy working all day and you logically got home and when it's Friday, I'm whipped. I got kids' baseball game to go to, and then I really just want to sit down and have a beer. Completely understood. Completely cool. Plenty of time today to send that email and send the mission in. Plenty of time today to get on that Discord or Slack or things of that nature. If you're watching horse racing today and you're with people, plenty of opportunity to mention the book and the author page there. Plenty of opportunity to show people how they can pre-order the book at a discount because those days are clicking by. And if that helps create urgency in what you're doing to help other people, that's a great thing. That $2.99 price goes away end of day on Tuesday, and I don't think it's coming back. It serves a purpose. It builds velocity. I want as many people as possible to pre-order. I want as many people as possible to enjoy the book at a very, very low price and get whatever benefits are to be gotten for them from this book. So today, this weekend, go back. If you have a chance to knock off a couple more missions, if you have a way to creatively think about other ways to spread this information, maybe it's poker buddies, maybe it's a craps group that you're part of, whatever that might be, here's the chance this weekend to find one more way. If you've been doing it, thank you and take a break. If you're motivated and to find one more, please do those. I'll send out tickets, happy to send out tickets. I was happy to send tickets yesterday to people that sent emails to multiple people. That's what we're doing. I'm not going to come back tomorrow with another episode. I'm not going to interrupt your Sunday. On the seventh day, God rested, and I'm not being blasphemous, but I'm going to take a break just a little bit myself from all this because next week's the big push. So let me wrap up by telling you how next week is going to go. I'll have an episode for you on Monday. We have a couple mission ideas. We'll see how things are going. I don't want to badger people ahead of Tuesday and have them tune us out on Tuesday. So Monday, I'll give you a status update. I'll give you a mission update. I'll give you a sense of where things are. We may or may not have a new mission on Monday. Monday's getting us in position. at 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday. The books go live. The physical books go live. The soft cover, the hard cover. Oh, I should probably tell you about that. The physical books go live at 12:01. That's when I can add them to my author page and claim them. That's when orders can start going in. Tuesday's going to be the day that we're going to try to have missions for buying the book. Right? Buy the soft cover, that's a mission. Buy the hardcover, that's a mission. Buy the ebook at a discount, that's a mission. And encourage the people you know in any way you can to buy a book on launch day. A book bought on launch day is double or triple the velocity of the book bought the second day, and way more velocity than a book bought the third day. Obviously, the goal is to get this book to as many people as possible, to create as much visibility as possible, and that means we need to have as many books sold on Tuesday as we can. So that's kind of the plan from here to there. Enjoy your weekend. Knock out some existing missions if you can. Missions are repeatable. You are not required to do each one once. You are allowed to do each one more than once if you would like to. So treat the weekend that way. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll be back on Monday with an update and some more content. Tuesday, we push hard to sell books, and I sit and refresh my screen constantly to see if anyone bought one. Wednesday will once again kind of be a down day, because here's the mechanics of things, right? The next things we need to do after selling books is we need to generate 2 types of additional velocity to finish up Operation Volcanic Velocity. We need to, a couple days after the book went live, a couple days after orders were placed, we need people who ordered an ebook, and only an ebook, to leave a meaningful review on Amazon. Reviews from people who didn't buy the book are ignored by the algorithm. Reviews by people who bought the book but Amazon knows did not take delivery of the book, right? So if you order the hardcover book and then you go the next day and leave a review, Amazon goes, nope, not fooling me. Your book isn't even out for delivery yet. You cannot have read it, and you cannot have a review to leave. So Wednesday, Thursday next week, people who bought the ebook, it'd be great if they would leave a review. And it doesn't have to be a 9-paragraph opus, but it needs to be meaningful. Great book is ignored. I like this book is ignored. That's not helpful. That's not velocity. I obviously want to hear you think it's a great book, but it's not something Amazon cares about. What Amazon will care about, and what I'll be asking ebook buyers to do next Wednesday, Thursday, after they've had time from the algorithm's point of view to process some of the book, I'm going to ask you to leave a meaningful review. Something like, I really like this book, and chapter 9 really got me thinking about how I approach casinos. Or, this is a pretty decent book, and I know I'm going to remember wisdom number 12 the next time I'm in front of a slot machine, or whatever it is. Something to indicate you read the book, you processed the content, and you found something positive out of that content is what we'll look for at the end of next week. And then we will be once again going back to family and friends, going back to people that didn't buy the book, or going to people who bought the physical book but didn't receive it yet. And we're going to ask you to go into the review page and mark 1, maybe 2 at most, reviews as helpful. This has got to look organic. This has got to look real. If you go through trying to help, in an eagerness to try to help the book, if you go through and there are 9 reviews and you mark all 9 reviews as helpful, you look like a bot. The algorithm is going to ignore that. However, if you scroll down and pause and click helpful on 1 review, that looks very normal. That looks very human. That will get the algorithm's attention. That will show the algorithm that people are paying attention to this book. And those are the things that we will do next week through the end of the week, and that will wrap up launch week, and then we will figure out when to do the live stream and when to award prizes and when to do that kind of launch week wrap up event. So thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the horse racing. If you get out and about and are out in a casino, make sure you update the squad on what's going on with you. I am, to my surprise, getting ready to head down to Casino One and do a little casinoing myself. So enjoy the weekend, everybody. Thanks for everything you've done. If you can squeeze in one more over the weekend of any type, it is always appreciated. I'll talk to you on Monday.